Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a full review and wear test on this Charlotte Tilbury foundation. This is a beautiful skin foundation and I feel like we've been teased with this one for quite some time. There were some promo pictures released, then it came online at I think Space NK, but it didn't come at Charlotte Tilbury, at Nordstrom, at Sephora. So I did not order it online from there. I wanted to wait till it came to Sephora because I have like fast shipping there, but it didn't come for some time and I was kind of bummed because I waited so long. But I got it in a shade 3 and 4, and I have here the Light Wonder from Charlotte Tilbury. I have it in shade 3 and this is my favorite foundation from her. It's just a beautiful all over foundation. It has more of a light coverage, a little bit, you can get it to maybe under medium, but I'm really curious to see how these compare as well. This is supposed to be, I think, a medium coverage. It has no SPF. It'll give your skin more radiance up to 285%. All right. All those claims are a little bit like, okay, really? Like, of course it's going to make you look better. It is a foundation, but I really don't look at those claims. I just see how it wears. So I'm gonna test this out. I will wear it all day or most of the day and just let you guys know how it looks, show you at the end how my skin looks. It is so rainy outside. It just rained all night long, so I'm curious to see how it's gonna last. I am going out today. I'm gonna go to the mall. I have some things to do, so we will definitely put this to the test. If you guys are interested, please continue watching. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and let's put some makeup on this clean face. So first of all, I want to swatch these. I didn't even open them. I'm gonna start with 3. If 3 matches me, I'm probably gonna return the 4. I didn't know which one I would be. Now, I am not self-tan at all. I usually try to be a little self-tan, but oh, this looks kind of yellow. This is supposed to be a neutral. Okay, fine, we'll open 4. I may end up loving it and using both of them. Okay, so the 4 from outside, it looks just a little bit more neutral. The 3 looks a little bit more yellow. This is the 3, and then the 4. I think I'm gonna like the 4 better. From the outside, I can see the undertone would work better for me. So my skin is just prepped. It has SPF on, just moisturizer. I don't have a primer, and I'm not gonna put a primer on because I want to see how this looks. I think I'm gonna start with a 4. Yes, that looks like a good color. I'm gonna swatch it right here. That is 4 right there. Yes, I'm gonna return the 3. I'm not gonna touch it because if it's darker than that, I'm sorry, lighter than that, I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna swatch next to it shade 3 from Light Wonder. It is lighter, and this is a little bit light for me, the shade 3, but because it's so skin-like, it just blends into the skin. So even if it's just a little bit lighter, just a little bit darker, it usually works. So these are the 2 colors. I feel like I should swatch 3 and just have it. I am going to swatch 3 as well. Andrew, don't watch. Yeah, 3 is definitely lighter. I swatched them here. Very different. I want to wait just a little bit with the 3 to see how it oxidizes when it dries, not necessarily oxidize. But I hope you guys can tell. You have 3, 4, and then the Light Wonder number 3. Between Light Wonder and the new one, both number 3s look very different. This is much more yellow. This is much more peachy. I'm going to wait just a little bit to see how they oxidize. I'm sorry, I keep saying oxidize, dry out. There's a difference between the foundation drying, so how it looks like when it's wet, and how it looks like when it's dry, and then when oxidizes. So, yeah. I feel like these two look more similar than this one. This is definitely much lighter. It also feels a little bit thicker consistency than the Light Wonder, and it seems to have a little bit more coverage. The Light Wonder is almost more watery, and let me swatch it one more time. Yeah, it seems a little bit more liquid, serumy than the new one. The new one seems a little bit thicker, creamier is the word. It's not necessarily thick, but it's creamier. Look how well that blended into my skin. That is the Light Wonder. So these are kind of dried out. I've been waiting a couple minutes, and honestly, out of all of them, I think the number 4, where is it, is right here. I think I love the undertone of that the most. This seems a little peachy. This seems too light. But if you're around that, I think you could go with either or, because this is supposed to be more of a medium coverage. I think you could probably get away within shades as long as the undertone is decent. I'm going to work with these on, just let them dry a little bit more. I think I'm going to start with number 4 and see how it works. Well, it is more liquid actually. It's kind of running down my hand. Which I do like this consistency usually. I'm going to start in the front, and I just put 1 pump, and it seems to be like, I wouldn't say thick, but like you can feel it there. It stays in place. And let's see the coverage. I did watch 2 reviews of this. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that shade is really nice. I love the undertone. I watched 2 reviews, and I didn't really watch them. I just kind of glanced at them. I watched Michelle Wong's and Tara Lynn's, and they have very different opinions about this foundation. If my eyes are red, it's because my daughter put her makeup on me, and I had glitter everywhere. Like, that thing would not come off. I still see it right there. There's glitter. It's like the kids' makeup, but that has some power, let me tell you. She got it for Christmas, so we all got a makeover. There's literally glitter everywhere. That looks like skin. It is not too wet. It's glowy, has a radiance, but it's not too much. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to put it around my eyes just a little bit. I will put concealer because I always wear concealer. That's one of those things that I feel like I need it just because I get so tired. Otherwise, I probably would do a wear test without concealer, but I need it. Okay, these glitters are literally everywhere. So if you see glitters, it's not the foundation whatsoever. It's just my daughter's makeup. I really like the color. I love the undertone. I'm going to add just a little bit. This is like half a pump just to see if it builds up right here. But so far, it's very, very beautiful. It's so skin-like. I almost look perfected. So I did build it up just a little bit right here, and it's okay. I feel like I could see it on my nose wanting to get a little bit heavy, so I kind of stopped. I didn't put all the leftover foundation that I had because I like the way it looks right now. I don't want to mess it up. It builds up, like that build up a little bit, but I don't think I would go much more because I could see how it can get a little bit heavy. But right now, guys, my skin looks so good. There is a radiance right here. It's not too obnoxious. It doesn't look wet or oily. It hasn't set yet. I still feel it on my hands, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. But initial application, it's perfect. I am going to turn the light down all the way, so hopefully you guys can really see the skin, how it looks with no bright lights. So the ring light is completely off. I do have some side lights, although if I turned those off, you wouldn't see a thing. So I think it looks so beautiful on the skin. There is no texture showing, there's no dryness. I think it covers really well. I do think it filters, like my pores look nice, but it doesn't look as nice as the Chanel. Like the pores in this foundation, this is the Chanel new one at Ulta. Number 1, it says. I think that looks a little bit better on my pores, but it does, I feel like that one sits on my skin like 5% more than this one. This is a little bit more radiant, almost more skin-like, and a little bit lighter than the Chanel. It is beautiful, beautiful on the skin. I adore this finish. This is probably my favorite finish in general. It's slight radiance, it's not too much. It doesn't look heavy on the skin, but you still see just a little bit of glow. I adore this finish. I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Corrector. I'm taking it on my finger and placing it just where I feel like there's darkness. I don't think you should use too much of this one. I think if you use too much, it can actually go backwards. So if you put it just everywhere, it won't give the illusion that wherever you have the darkest part, that it's covered, because that's what the peach does. It tries to counteract the purples, the darkness under your eyes. So if you put the peach everywhere, well, it kind of defeats the purpose. But if you just put it right where you have a little bit of darkness, that's all you needed. Don't put it everywhere. I hope that made sense a little bit. I think I want to use the Lancôme. Let's use that. I'm going to combine two because I don't have my right shade. This is in 330 and then 250. I'm just going to add a little bit. I don't want to overdo it because I just want to see how the skin looks without concealer, but I just need a little bit. I'm going to take the 250 and mix those together. Maybe a little bit here, here. I think that's enough concealer. Okay, the skin is done. I think it looks flawless in the best way, like not full coverage, but it concealed everything that I needed concealed. I would say this is a medium coverage. It has more coverage than I thought it would. I think it has more coverage than the Light Wonder. The Light Wonder, I can spread it and make it look very light coverage where like you can still see my freckles and everything. But this I think did a really good job at covering. Coverage wise, I think it's very similar to the Chanel one. Honestly, this foundation reminds me of the Chanel a little bit. This is a little bit glowier than the Chanel. The Chanel is more of a satin finish, but they remind me of each other. I'm just comparing to that because I just reviewed that one and I'm sure you guys will have questions about those too. So I will powder very little under the eyes, maybe just a little bit right here, but I'm going to leave the rest of my skin just bare. I will put a little bit of makeup. I'm going to try to keep it minimal. That way we can kind of see how he wears throughout the day. I'll be right back. All right, the makeup is done. I'm gonna tell you quickly what I did. On my eyes, I have this Victoria Beckham shadow. I just used a little bit, mainly this one with a little bit of this one, and then smudge on the line, as a liner. This brown one, very fast, super easy. As a bronzer, I have my Rare Beauty bronzer. This is in Happy Soul, and that's the only bronzer I have. On my cheek, I have this Lilah B. This is the Be Lovely blush. It's so good. I have very little of that, and by mistake I did add a highlighter and I shouldn't have. I did add a little bit of the Westman Atelier highlighter in Nectar. It's this one right here. I added just a little bit right there. It's not much, but I really wanted to see how the foundation wears and how glowy it gets, but I think I'll still be able to get an idea. And on my lips, I have this Rare Beauty Fearless lip color. It's nice. I kind of try to pat it out and kind of mess the line a little bit. And then the brush that I use for the foundation is the Sonia G. I know I always get so many questions about this brush. It's the Jumbo Base, and it's my favorite foundation brush. Okay, so a few thoughts about this foundation. Right now, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks so good. Absolutely no real complaints. Now, comparing this one to other ones, again, going back to the Chanel, this one looks better around my pores than the Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I did not prime at all. I usually use the touch-up primer around my pores, so that may have an effect, because I do think when I tested the Chanel, I used the touch-up primer, and I probably should have done that, but I really wanted to see how glowy it gets and how it looks around the pores. But when I say that, don't think it looks bad around the pores. It actually looks beautiful. I'm just comparing to the Chanel one. It is not too glowy right now. It has a beautiful radiance to it, a beautiful finish. I actually adore the finish. I prefer the finish of this better. And it looks good. It's a good medium coverage. It's more coverage than I was expecting, but I do see the glow around here. Oh, there, you guys can kind of see. And there's just a glow overall. I think it looks really good. I'm very curious to see how it lasts throughout the day, to see if it gets super oily or glowy, or I will show you guys at the end. I have a feeling that it will. I did powder just right here. It looks really good. It absolutely no complaints, except that the shade 3 is more yellow than neutral, but the shade 4 is a really beautiful shade. I would definitely go with shade 4 if you're kind of around my skin tone. And yeah, it has a radiance throughout, which I absolutely adore. And that's about it. Let's see how it wears. I may do a check-in here and there, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. I am back. It has been, I would say, about 8 hours of wear. I was kind of at home, just hanging, editing, kids. I went out to the mall, did some shopping, and came back. And I'm kind of ready to take the makeup off. But I think that's a good amount of time. And the foundation is looking kind of perfect. It definitely got just a little bit glowier around my forehead. Nothing really around the rest. I would say right here around my nose seems a little bit dry. Right here above my lip, it seems like it's separated slightly, but it could also be the concealer, because I did put a tiny bit of concealer there. Did I or didn't I? I don't know. I can't remember. But I do see a little bit of separation right there. But everywhere else, it looks pretty perfect. It really hasn't gotten in my smile lines right here, very little, and that's a good sign. It means it hasn't settled. Again, it is a little bit glowy, but it's not oily at all. However, I do have more of a natural to dry skin, so I actually really enjoy the glow. I actually love the finish of the foundation right now. I kind of feel like in the monitor it looks a little splotchy here, but in person it doesn't. Maybe it's just the way the light hits it. no, actually, like the foundation hasn't moved at all. The foundation's still in place, and all I powdered was under my eyes, and that's about it. Everything is still perfect right here. You can see it's just a little bit of redness there, but really impressed with this foundation. I think the foundation wore really well. I don't see any big issues. I actually looked in the mirror and it kind of looked like I just put it on, except I would say 20% more glowy, 15%, let's say 15%. It's not super intensely glowy. It's beautiful. It really is looking really nice. I really like the coverage. It is a good medium coverage. You can definitely build it up a little bit. You don't want to overdo it, because when I went in again to apply more around this area, I felt like it could look a little heavier than just initially, and I was a little scared that it was gonna just kind of look like foundation on the skin. But right now, the way I did it, I did one thin layer and added just a little bit more right here. It worked really well. I think the foundation wore better maybe than the Chanel one. However, the Chanel, I wore it through much more. I wore it through work. I wore it like, say, 12-14 hour wear test. I wore that one for much longer, and with this one I didn't do a ton. I am kind of curious to see how it's going to last for another like 4 hours, like have a 12-hour wear test. I can't do that right now, but I will leave in the description box if it wore better or not, if it kind of started like breaking apart, because I'm going to wear this foundation a little bit longer, but I have to do the check-in right now, or it's not going to happen today. So overall, I'm really liking this foundation. I think it's beautiful. I think it has a radiance to it. It's not too much. Next time I'm interested to see how it will work with a pore filling primer, like my Tatcha or my Tarte. I think that would work really well. If you're super oily, I don't think that this is something that you would probably enjoy, just because I am pretty dry and like I see a little bit of a glow, nothing much, but like you could probably see that on my forehead, and that's about it. Maybe a little bit on my nose as well, but nowhere else. But I like that. I'm actually enjoying the glow more than in the beginning. So for me, it's definitely a plus. I think it will become a regular foundation. I like the undertone. I like the way it sits on the skin. I love the way it wears. And I do think I'm going to do a roundup of just all the foundations I've tried in the past few months. I also have this Dior that I need to try, the Forever Skin Glow. I got a shade that's kind of light, so I don't know if I'm going to use that for a review, but I'll do that. My next video will be probably that, if you guys aren't tired of foundation reviews. But I will end up doing a comparison video of all the foundations I've tried in the past few months, which will include Chanel, this, Dior, the Clé de Peau, the Lisa Eldridge, just everything. That way you guys can kind of get a better understanding of what each foundation does, because there's so many launches that it can be overwhelming. So for me, this is definitely a plus. I'm loving it. I think it's beautiful. It's just a good everyday foundation for me. If you're interested, I think it works. I think it's beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.